But for now, we are going to begin with the thousands of Michael Jackson fans who will gather here at the Staples Center in just a few hours. NBC's Lee Cowan has more on that. Lee, good morning to you.
Morning, Meredith. You know, this is a hard event to describe because on the one hand, fans are coming here to mourn, but they're also coming here to celebrate Michael Jackson's life and his music. But one thing they can all agree on is no matter why they came here, the one thing they all say is no matter what they did to get here, it was worth it already. If one measure of Michael Jackson's celebrity is the dedication of fans wanting to be near him in death, then on that scale, Jackson really was the king of pop. We found any number of incredulous stories of harrowing travel, leaps of faith, even fans risking financial ruin to be here today. But Jamila Muhammad beats them all.
I'm quite happy to accept the label of fanatic. I am mad about Michael Jackson.
We found her in what would generously be labeled a Fleabag motel, unpacking her things after a long flight from London.
And then, of course, my outfit wouldn't be complete without my Michael glove.
But she arrived without a ticket to today's memorial and only pennies in her pocket. She was soon holding court by the side of a freeway, pleading in desperation as those with tickets drove right by.
It really is heart-wrenching.
The desire to be part of a public farewell may have reached a fevered pitch after Princess Diana's death, but it has always been a part of us.
Elvis Presley died today.
So many fans turned out in 1977 to see Elvis's funeral cortege that President Jimmy Carter had to call out the National Guard. When slugger Babe Ruth died in 1948, more than 100,000 gathered to bid the home run king farewell. The godfather of soul, James Brown, had fans lined up around the block for a ghoulish goodbye.
Lennon was shot and killed at about 11 o'clock last night.
And John Lennon's sudden death drove thousands to song. Some fans need a touchstone. It doesn't have to be much. For Jamila, the long journey itself was a tribute.
His music's my heartbeat, you know, it's a part of me.
And as the clock ticked down, she kept pushing. We left her holding her sign and hoping for the best.
It's going to be worth it, I'm sure it is.
And indeed, it was. And after spending all that money on a plane ticket, and after coming here and really not knowing a soul, we got a call last night, Meredith, that she did get exactly what she came for. A fan gave her a ticket, so she'll be one of the 17,000 other people watching in person what, maybe 1 billion people will get to watch only on TV.
Yeah, so many devoted fans. Lee Cowan, thank you very much. Frank DeLeo was Michael Jackson's longtime manager and his friend, and he is with us exclusively. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Just a few weeks ago, you were preparing with Michael for this 50 concert tour in London, and now today his musical director and his band will be performing at his memorial service. What is going through your head today? What are your emotions today?
Well, I know it's going to be a very nice service. I know it'll be a great show. It'll be good to see people celebrate the memory of Michael. But it's very sad for me because we were scheduled to leave this past Friday.
And you really thought he was on the cusp of coming back big time?
There was no doubt about it. It's hard for me to believe that he's gone. I see these images up on the screens, and most of those images I have some feeling or was a part of, and it's going to be a difficult day for everybody. I think by tomorrow maybe it'll finally hit me. Right now it's been a mad race.
His legacy, we've been talking about it so much the past few days. How do you think he would react to this, to what's been said about him, to the events of today?
I think he knows, and I think he's enjoying it. And he always loved the fans, and he always loved when they turned out. And his fans are different than other people's fans. I've worked with a lot of artists, and I've seen different kinds of fans. His are very dedicated, real, sincere people, and he loved them dearly. And I'm sure he's very happy with the outpouring.
We asked you in the break if you could confirm any of the reports about the casket being here or a private service this morning or any of those things, and you said you really can't because it's been kept so private by the family on purpose.
Right. They've kept it private. I have no idea what they're doing as far as a burial service or whatever. I think in their religion, I think they have their own, they have their own practices and things like that. So I haven't been informed, and I really don't know.
When I last spoke with you, it was the day after Michael died, and you were very upfront about your concerns about him and prescription drugs, possible use of drugs.
Well,
since then, go ahead.
I said, we never really said that. You asked me, and I said, I don't know because the toxicology report is not back.
I don't mean in terms of that. I mean, just mean that there were issues prior to that you had concerns.
There were.
Well, since then, we have found, authorities have said they're looking at 5 different doctors in connection with Michael, including the one that was hired by the tour, who wasn't even licensed to dispense prescription drugs. When you hear that, does that make you angry, Frank?
It makes me very mad, but you have to understand that Michael said that was his doctor. The promoters didn't hire him because they needed a doctor.
Right.
Michael forced the promoters to hire that gentleman, Dr. Murray. And there probably were a lot of doctors, and I'm very angry about it, that they didn't have enough sense to stop whatever they were giving him, if that is what happened. And I hope the authorities do look into it.
And now we're hearing that possibly a custody battle for the kids between Debbie Rowe and Catherine, and also the judge ruling yesterday that the executor of the estate will not be the Jackson family, but rather his lawyer and a longtime friend of Michael Jackson's. Do you anticipate that once this is over, there's going to be a long, bumpy road ahead?
I don't think so. I think the will was very clear. I think the judge saw the people that were appointed executors. He knows that they're capable of taking that estate and building it for the children and for Catherine. Catherine was not left out of anything. She clearly gets the kids. It says it in a will. And that's what a will is, the person's will. And that's what Michael wanted. That's what's going to happen.
Frank DeLeo, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Circumstances. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And NBC's Brian Williams will anchor live coverage of the Michael Jackson Memorial. That is today at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific Time here on NBC. And Dateline will have a full wrap-up tonight at 10, 9 Central Time.